Is your editing as slow as this? Look at this dude. Or you can remove your edit. Look at this guy. I know. No edit delay. No edit delay. If you want to edit like this with no edit delay, watch throughout the whole video. I heard all my daddies needed them edit tips to make your edits as smooth as James Charles. Now, but on a real, this video is going to help you get lower latency, lower edit delay, and get edits as fast as how James Charles rails me in the... Hi, sisters! Alright, but next up, you better like and subscribe in the next 5 seconds, or James Charles is going to be in your room at 3 AM tomorrow, and he's going to be giving you a kiss on the cheek. I mean, I wouldn't complain, but like and subscribe. Oi! Yo, go down to the comments and comment what time you go to bed, so I know when to sneak in. Yeah! Nah, on a real, comment what time you actually go to sleep. Hey, anyways, let's do the intro. Let's hop straight into the tips, boys. Alrighty, boys, so we're now in game. Let's flip down to lap cam, and then let's go ahead and start reeling off tips for you. Oh, Jamesy. Alrighty, so for the first tip, it's going to be quite simple. It's going to be removing a bit of input delay from your console to your controller. Now, the reason I say this is because a lot of people don't actually think about this too much. Now, what this is you see a controller in my hand right now, and then obviously your console is a different place to the location. 90% of you guys don't have your controllers plugged in, and you usually have it in a stored away in a cabinet underneath your TV or something. Now, why this is bad is because where your controller is to where your actual console is, perhaps in a cupboard, the distance between that actually matters. So with the representative on my fingers, as you can see, if your console and your controller are this close, your edit delay is going to be very small. If your controller and your console are this far apart, then your edit delay is going to be way worse, and basically, you just need to remove stuff between the distance of your controller and your console, and shorten that gap between it. But Woods, I play with my controller plugged in. Well, actually, I don't know if any of you guys realize this, but on console, they actually always go ahead and use wireless connections. Now, even though your controller is plugged in, that just charges the battery of your controller. That just gives it the power you see on your controller. And then from there, it still connects wirelessly to your controller. So to wrap up the first tip, basically just shorten the distance between your console and your controller, play closer to your console, and you'll get way less input delay and edit delay. Now, coming in with tip number 2, this is actually about weathering of your gear. Now, what is weathering, you ask, Woods? Well, basically, if you ever look at my controller, my thumbsticks are getting pretty old, as you can tell. Now, what this means with these cheesy-ass, nasty controller grips means that my controller is actually pretty old. Now, if you know that your controller is old, what this actually could entail is basically that your controller is getting old, the Bluetooth connection is actually getting worse, and this can actually lead to a slower connection to your console, and edit delay basically just gets worse because your buttons are less responsive overall. Now, this is why you see all the pros constantly getting new controllers. I have a scuff controller, so it's quite pricey for me to always get a new scuff controller. But honestly, most of you guys probably play with a normal controller anyways, so I would highly recommend just every now and then, if you feel a controller kind of getting laggy and stuff like that when it comes to editing, just try and get a new controller and see if it actually makes your edit delay go down a little bit. I know that this happens to me all the times. I replace my controllers around 6 months, and as soon as I get a new controller, they always feel so much crispier and as smooth as James Charles' butt. Okay, now tip number 3 coming in is gonna actually be, because most of you guys play on a console or with a controller, either way, it actually always matters. Your edit delay always is based on your FPS performance and your performance of your console. But how do I fix this? Well, don't worry, I'm the man, and I'm gonna be showing you how you can get a little bit better FPS on console and make your performance way better to improve your edit delay. Now, a really simple one you can start out for if you guys play on PS4, if you guys go into your settings, there'll actually be a thing called a boost setting. I'll have an image up on screen right now, and all you have to do is go into your settings and turn this on, and it basically maximizes the performance of your PS4. Now, if you play on any other console, then you probably won't have this option, but I'll just highly suggest turning off a thing called game DVR in your console. This just removes any extra game capture to make your game feel way smoother overall if you remove it. Now, these simple settings in your console will obviously speed you up, but what can you actually do inside of Fortnite to make your game feel better and run better and give you better edit delay overall? Now, this tip is very well known by my fans, but don't worry, I got a secret tip coming up later on today's video. But this basic tip is literally just to play on a grid island, and it means that no neon crazy signs or map load-ins are going to be happening, and a really basic island just like this will give you the maximum FPS. Also, I'd highly recommend when the new PS5 and Xbox comes out, I'd highly recommend getting the new gen because they actually come with 120 FPS on the console, so I'd definitely recommend trying those out, as I'm sure they'll have a lower edit delay when they come out. But for the meantime, try it upgrading to a pro version of your console, such as the PS4 Pro, as it comes with better FPS and better performance, giving you a lower edit delay. Now, not everyone has the money to go buy a new console, so that's why I got you guys the next tip. Now, we're getting into the territory of some secret tips that are actually going to make you edit as fast as James Charles when he goes up and down on my... Basically, these edit binds are very important. Now, edit delay actually is very important when linked to edit binds. Now, a lot of you people may be editing with touchpad, B to edit, or one of the actual left sticks to edit, but did you know some of the buttons actually have a longer press time, giving you a bigger edit delay? Now, these secret buttons on your controller will actually have the less press time, which will mean that you have a lower edit delay, and I'm going to teach you them now. So if you come over to your settings, what you guys want to go ahead and do is I would highly recommend always having a B, Y, X, or A, or triangle, or whatever the hell it is on any other console, because if you actually use a left stick or something, or a touchpad on your console, what this actually has is, for example, a left stick has a way harder button to press on your controller. As you can see, it's harder to click. Same with the touchpad. If you click it, it's harder to press the button than it is to actually activate by clicking B or circle or something. So I would always recommend having an edit bind on your controller that doesn't take much pressure to actually click, and actually having one of these buttons over here, as it will make it a faster press time. Now, this is my editing speed before changing my settings over. Now, if we come to my editing binds here, if we actually go ahead and use B as edit, and then we come over to our edit controls and actually use Y as my select, what this means is we can use two of the lowest button presses, which is B and Y, or circle and triangle. And if you add these two together, then you get a double edit bind, and it edits instantly, rather than having to click left stick with a lot of pressure, then selecting it and then hitting B to confirm. Instead, now you can go ahead and spam these two buttons together just like so, with the lowest press time, and it'll actually give you a faster edit delay, making you a faster editor overall, making your friends think you actually have macros on console. Alrighty, so it's now time to move on to our 5th tip of today's video. Don't worry, daddies, this is definitely well waited for, and this is a secret tip of the video. Now, I thought I'd throw this tip in today's video because I haven't mentioned it in a long time, and nobody knows about it, and everyone's forgotten about the secret tip. Now, basically, what this tip is something that Epic added to actually give you a lower input delay. Now, everybody knows that the most popular controllers is Xbox or PS4 controllers. Now, Fortnite actually added as a third input on your Fortnite game a thing called a generic setting. However, don't click away, because the generic setting can actually be added and combined with something else to give you the lowest input delay in the game and giving you the lowest edit delay overall. Now, if we come over to our settings here, as you can see on the controller platform down on the left hand side, you guys may be playing with an Xbox controller or a PS4 controller. Go all the way down and try out this thing called a generic controller. Now, Fortnite added this as a third input for foreign controllers that aren't Xbox or PS4 controllers. But it doesn't matter, even if you do have one of these controllers, you can still use it, and for some reason this third foreign input actually has a lower input delay and edit delay than any other console. Now, if you actually combine this with something else, as I'm sure a lot of you guys actually already play with a single edit bind, what you're going to come and do is go all the way over to your settings and go to the D-pad. Now, a lot of people don't use the D-pad for things, so find one that you don't use it for, and then click it and come all the way down to the bottom, and you probably will not have this thing called use, which is switch mode / edit. Now, for some reason, if you add this and also have switch mode on your controller, and then also have edit as a separate button, then your switch mode / edit, if you add it as a third, for some reason it removes edit delay. Don't ask me why. I've just had it going on for a while now, and I've tried it out, and maybe it's a placebo effect, but trust me guys, just try it out and it might double your edit speed, because you'll get a lower edit delay overall. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today's video. Go down to the comments and actually comment sus if you made it this far. Also, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, because you clearly have enjoyed the video, so you may as well subscribe for more content. Anyway, guys, there's not a lot else to say, and I guess I'll catch you all in my next video. Peace out.